My name is Kayla. Thanks for joining me for another video. This one is going to be about an Lbracket and why I actually don't recommend that you get the camera specific one. So I did settle on this one. So it's a universal Lbracket. In particular is one with a lot of mounting points on the left side there. So the camera specific ones are A, typically more expensive, and B, I find they didn't really have that many mounting points. Like there was one from Smallray, it cost like 80 bucks or 90 bucks or something. It maybe had like 3 or 4 more mounting points, but then there was an issue with for the A7 IV specifically, there was an issue with if it's like set up a certain way, you can't open the camera, like you can't open the monitor or the LCD, and it's just like, so you're paying all this money and it's not even fully functional. Like you have to kind of fidget with it. So I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna have to fidget, why not save some money? So I came across this one. Really easy to assemble. So it's just you plug in these 2 screws and then you're good to go. You will notice that there are other screws that use Allen key, and they actually supply you with a smaller Allen key so that you may remove these screws, but I recommend you don't. These screws are actually safeties for when you put your camera with this L mount on a tripod. So, which is one of the main reasons for getting in this Lbracket. It's to be able to mount your camera onto a tripod in portrait or landscape mode without really, the benefit is that you don't really change your angle and your field of view significantly, as opposed to if you had to put the tripod to the side and all that, then your angle is slightly different. You're gonna have to pick up your tripod, like you could lose the shot or whatever, right? So other reasons why you might want to get an Lbracket is, and this is the main reason why I got it, and I don't want to have to be fidgeting, switching between my sling and the tripod and the gimbal and this and that. So I say, you know what, let me just look for some kind of solution to this, and the Lbracket seemed to make the most sense for me. Cage, I think, is more if you plan to do video and you're gonna put a monitor and whatever, but that's not where I'm at right now. So yeah, the Lbracket seemed to be the best solution. So this will allow me to fully kit it out where I could have the mounting point for the sling permanently attached to the Lbracket, which is permanently going to be attached to the camera, and then I could also just slap that camera on a tripod, no problem, with that sling mounting point still there. So as soon as I'm done with it on the tripod, boom, I just slap it back on my sling and I'm good to go, which is exactly what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to do. So what made me realize I needed it, I was at an event and I needed to put one of the cameras on a tripod, and I had to ask them to wait because I didn't want them to miss the shot for the video while I was taking the picture. So this would allow me to not have to ask my event to stop. Thankfully it was a small event, so it wasn't a problem. So yeah, so that solves that problem for me. Then about all the mounting, like the 1/4" screw mounting points here, gonna really come in handy. So another reason why I wanted a Lbracket is I wanted to be able to have a flash on the camera or trigger on the camera as well as a mic, since I plan to do a lot of hybrid shooting, and I think I would want to have audio from like a shotgun mic instead of the in-camera mic. And the issue is, if I have the trigger for taking pictures, there's no way to put the mic. With this, you have a few options. You can get like a double-ended 1/4" screw, so you can screw on your shotgun mic, or you know, if you have a flash like a speed light, they usually come with a kind of stand. So if you want to put your speed light on a tripod, so you could actually just attach that to your shotgun mic. this thing could even double as an extra handle if it's slid out to the side. And as we're on the topic of it being slid out to the side, so because it's a universal Lbracket, there's no accommodation for the ports in your particular camera, or no specific specially designed accommodation. However, because of how they did design this, I think it would probably work for most cameras, where you could pretty much plug anything in, either by sliding it out to the side further, or it does seem, these holes do seem to line up pretty nicely with the ports in both of my cameras, actually some of the ports. So it really is just going to depend, but it being slid out to the side is actually not a huge problem at all. You can still mount the camera to a tripod in landscape mode, no problem. Because if you're using the ports on the side, you can't really use the portrait mode. You could even, so with the A7 IV, I was even able to plug in a full HDMI through the holes here into the camera, no problem. So the design of this was really thought out, even though this probably was designed before full HDMI was a common thing in cameras and stuff. Even for your battery on the bottom of the camera, once it's slid out to the left a little bit, you actually will have access to your battery door. So if it's snug with the camera, you have no battery door access. You have to slide it out to the left to get a battery door access. But once it's slid out to the left, you have a little bit of battery door access. If it's slid out to the left, you have like an extra handle for if you're doing run and gun shooting. So you could hold the camera a little bit more stable. So for me, I think this is a huge win. Another huge reason why I got this is the cost, right? I think maybe I mentioned in the beginning. So yeah, the cost of the small rig was like $90. This one costs like $20. So it's a huge savings, and it's similar functionality. Small rigs still had to fidget a little bit when you want to, with the A7 IV, especially when you want to open the LCD and turn it. So I'm really no better or worse off with this one in my eyes. One thing worth mentioning is that there is no gripping, in a sense, to prevent this thing from turning if it's not tightened down properly. So the camera specific, the ones that are designed specific for particular cameras, they're gonna make it in such a way that there's guards on the front and the back of the Lbracket, right? So that it doesn't turn when you're using it. This one doesn't have that. However, this padding does help prevent it. And then as long as you tighten it down like enough, to be honest, it's probably not gonna turn at all. When I have it tightened down properly, it doesn't really turn for me. So I would imagine it would be similar for everybody else. So yeah, so for me, highly recommend this. If you found yourself in a similar situation where you feel like you need something to hot swap and to just make mounting the camera onto different things a little bit easier, or maybe mounting things to the camera a little bit easier, this is a good solution, good purchase, and it's a cheap accessory that could make a really huge difference in just your efficiency when you might be on site for a shoot or something, or even in your studio. So that's it. Thanks so much for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I do have one coming up on actually a tripod that the A7 III is on right now, so stay tuned. I'll see you soon.